And welcome back to the 28th Annual City of Mobile Championships. We are now on the final 9 here to determine who is going to finish out on top and who will be a bit disappointed. But hopefully you viewers won't be out there, as it is going to be myself, Dustin Mouret, again joined by Christopher Downey, and we're getting into it right away here on hole number 10, a very long hyzer shot at 390 feet.
Yeah, and you just take an overstable disc and throw it as far as you can and try to avoid the ditch on the left and that OB on the right that a lot of players sometimes turn their shot over trying to get enough power to get to this hole.
Yeah, that parking lot can definitely creep in if you leave it out. And Cam called himself a sissy, but I don't know what he was trying to do, because that is perfect. Was he trying to go OB deep? I mean, I don't know how much more power he wanted.
Cam is the king of thinking that he messed up a shot and then it's perfect.
that happened quite often, actually, as we're going to see Gibney leave himself a little bit short. If you're at that shrub kind of position, you're probably about 45 to 50 out.
Yeah, and for some reason, a lot of discs filter right behind that bush. And as you can see, too, it's starting to sprinkle a little bit, so it's going to be some... And just Colin just continuing what he was doing on
if you haven't, yeah, let's say, if you haven't watched the front 9, take a pause, go take a look. And he's been hitting a lot of shrubbery, unfortunately, as that's a long bid from Gibney, but that actually wasn't a bad effort.
Yeah, and he's just continually been on point with those putts, so he's just left that one a little high.
Yeah, again, this is a tough one just because while it's only 390 and everyone can throw that far on this car, because it's a pure hyzer line to do it, it's just tough. And he committed to that putt, but again, that's just a tough one to get from the straddle position behind that bush.
Yeah, and I don't remember the last time Colin had a putt where he could just putt straight at the basket.
Yes.
Where he wasn't just straddled out. And good run by Matty there. And that's really the first putt he's missed. Kind of opened the door for Cam to get a stroke back.
You're absolutely right. This could be that chance that Cam's been needing to try to get a stroke on Matt and start closing the gap. And oh no, you feel like that must be because that last one's still in his head, and just the whole round so far has probably been a bit of a mental drain.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of rushed that putt and just small mental lapse, and it just cost him a stroke there.
Yep. We're seeing everyone else kind of clean up their pars, but again, we saw Cam absolutely park this hole. A beautiful shot off the tee, and so he'll get his birdie, solo birdie of the card.
Yeah, it was a really good start to his final 9, and now he's going to try to make that push to try to close that gap and maybe come back and catch Matt for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, this played as .07 over par. It was one of the top 6 most difficult holes on the course, or top 5, actually. So, big birdie to get for Cam. As now we're on to a new hole, is combining a couple of holes into one really long par 4.
Yeah, and this one you just take your longest driver and just throw it as far as you can. Just try to get as close to the tee pad for the hole that we're playing to. And, some people go wide like Matty is about to go. It kind of gives you that hyzer out towards the road.
Right. Cam went through the gap you would normally take for the other basket position, but just turned it over instead, which is a good shot. Unfortunately, Matt has hit a tree early, so he's got a lot of distance still to go.
Yeah, and he's just going to be trying to save his 4 from there. There's 3's really out of the question for him from that position. And Gibney's put a good turn on this one, and that's way down there. That one's probably even with the other tee pad for the hole that we're playing to.
Yeah, he threw that almost 500 feet, or like right above 500 feet. So it was a really big bomb there from Gibney.
And Colin actually threw a good shot for the normal hole that we play on a normal day, but today he's set himself up for a long hyzer approach to this basket.
And we're going to see another big flex forehand coming out of Matteo, who was using it to good effect at the Admiral. That one he's unfortunately chopped a little bit too much.
Yeah, that one kind of got away from him. You wonder if the wet conditions kind of helped him not get this turned over as much as he wanted.
Yep. As we're going to see Cam looking to try to use that to his advantage and try to gain more ground on Matt, as that door is open for him with his tee shot. He has the position to do it. He just needs to make sure it doesn't fade too much, because that ditch on the left-hand side could be OB. He needs that to stab or slow down. Oh, no.
Yeah, and, that's the one thing that you got to watch out for this hole, is that it filters down to that ditch, and not much you can do about it whenever you got a high-speed driver going down that way.
As we are going to see Colin go for his approach. Not bad. That was actually a really good placement to be able to get up there and get his par at the very least.
Yeah, and that's a really good second shot, and it's going to make his approach to the basket. He even might be able to run it for a bird.
I mean, this was a very difficult hole, as you can see up there. I mean, this was the fourth most difficult. So we're going to see Gibney get up there, and no birdie to be found, but definitely going to be able to get up there and get the par. And actually, you might have a little bit of a birdie run there.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than what he thinks. And, he threw a mid-range on his approach shot, so he was able to slow down before it got to the ditch.
And a beautiful shot there from Matt to make up for a couple of tough ones. He's parked that for the par.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting at this point, Chris, if you didn't know, Matt has yet to bogey this whole tournament. He's now through, 2 full rounds and a front nine and still no bogeys.
I did not know that, and that's really impressive. And him putting it close right there to save his par with Cam going out of bounds, that was a really big shot.
Yeah, so we actually took a provisional here because the rules that were written for this hole were a little ambiguous, I guess is maybe the word to use. So we weren't 100% sure if, normally this ditch is out of bounds. Everyone kind of knows that, but the way the rule was written, it wasn't very explicit. And so we actually did play a provisional here where one option would have left him with a par and one option gives him the bogey. And at the end of the day, it was decided that he would take a bogey on this hole, as this was indeed OB.
Yeah, and he almost made that. It wouldn't have mattered if he would.
Right.
He'd have got the par anyway. But yeah, wasn't really clear in the player's book. But all you can do is talk to the TD and figure out the thing. And that's a great putt and a good 3 by Gibney.
Only birdie on the card, and a rare birdie just in general, as this again was playing .24 over par for the day. So again, and also it was one of those holes that kind of got combined, and they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for that.
Yeah, and Gibney played it perfect.
Yes.
He got way off the tee to make it a simple approach shot, and Cam tapping in right here. And having to tap in twice for his provisional shot, and that one kind of hurts because he was in a good position off his drive and didn't gain it. Actually lost a stroke to Matty O.
Nice par save, Matt.
Yeah, good save, brother.
Ranked #1 best small college in Alabama and a premier competitor in the NAIA, the University of Mobile provides a world-class, Christ-centered education designed to put our graduates at the top of their field. You don't want to miss out on the college experience here at UM. From amazing events to high-quality academic programs, we make sure you have a one-of-a-kind college experience. You can choose from a variety of residential facilities with great amenities and outstanding dining options. At the University of Mobile, we want you to be involved. Our 880-acre campus also features beautiful outdoor recreation options, a 24-hour fitness facility, and plenty of space for you to create deep friendships and lasting relationships. Come experience it for yourself. Visit umobile.edu/apply for more information.
Let's get back into it here, Chris. We're on hole 12, another big par 4. Why don't you talk us through it?
Yeah, this hole is moved back to a long position, and really the play on this hole is a roller if you want to be really aggressive, or you just have this hyzer out to the side towards this black fence. So it's not playing OB.
Right.
Really, it gives you the chance to be aggressive on this hole because you can just play a shot into that black fence, and then it's a simple approach shot around this tree to this basket, and it's not a real fast screen. It kind of just sits down and gives yourself inside the circle putt with a good approach shot.
Absolutely. Kind of like a roller guard if you want to go for it. But yeah, it does not play as OB, as it is a temporary structure, not normally there. Usually the road just being the OB, and we're going to see, he yanked that one, and he might actually test the waters of that OB road. But looks like it's going to fade in towards that black fence.
Yeah, and he grip locked that one a little bit, but it was overstable enough, to give him a chance to get back.
Now, this is about picture perfect for this hole, I feel like, off the tee.
Yeah, that's a really good shot. It's going to leave him a simple approach shot to this green.
The only way it gets better than that is if you go for the roller and you hit it. As we're going to see Colin throw a nice, powerful shot. Very similar, a little bit lower, but still going to skip up there nicely, and that is actually beautiful. That is the CTP so far.
And he actually will have a long putt for eagle.
Yes. Cam also testing the waters of that road OB with that one. Left it hang out, but again, it's stabling up nicely, so it should be able to come back in just before the fence.
Yeah, we got 2 guys on the right side, 2 guys on the left side of this fence, so it should be simple approaches for all 4 guys on our card.
Yeah, it looks like everyone should be getting a birdie at least at this point. But again, as you said, Colin Forehand actually has a little bit of an eagle look.
Nice approach there for Medio. He kind of gave that a half run at it. You know, Cam's going to start getting aggressive here.
Has to.
And that was a really good run, just a little short.
And I want him to get this eagle so bad, Chris. On what he's had to deal with today, I feel like he deserves this. Just let him have it. That wasn't too far off.
It wasn't too far, but he's right behind another tree.
Able to straddle out this time, though, and should be able to get this one and still get a birdie, you would imagine. Indeed, he does. Nice job.
Yeah, and, you know, that was one of the ones that, you know, he hadn't had to just stretch out and be on a knee for, so it was more of his regular putt.
Yeah, and everyone else should just be cleaning up birdies at this point. I mean, everyone has done exactly what they needed to do up until this point to set themselves up for prime birdie position, and I expect we will be seeing that star frame.
Yeah, with Cam in there, I'm pretty sure Matt's not going to miss this one, so great hole ball.
I feel like Matt would have to try harder to miss than to make it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was 0 chance of him missing that hole.
Now we're on to our 13 long position, so it's going to play behind that bush to the right of the plane. Plays about 315 to 320 feet.
Yeah, and Gibney with that little shake and got
adding some extra C's to the name Michael with that one.
Yeah, and it got knocked down. And, you know, this distance control is key on this hole because you have to throw it hard enough to get far enough underneath this tree, and then it has to slow down before it gets to this road back here, which Matteo has found.
I thought maybe those branches might knock him down to stop him from doing that, but unfortunately he got through them the one time he would like to not get through. And that's a good shot from Colin. It's the right height. It's fading. It's skipping towards the basket. And please stay in. Yes, okay.
Yeah, and that's a really good shot. Controlled that distance and, you know, got a really good break to not skip straight into the road right there.
And again, door is open for Cam. He needs to make this one happen because Matt has gone OB. He has a chance to gain a stroke here. That looks pretty solid. He's going to get that one, you imagine?
Yeah, that was a really good shot. You know, those limbs might have slowed it down just enough.
And here's the thing. Matt is far enough out to where a bogey is definitely a possibility. This could be a 2-stroke swing.
It could be, you know, and this isn't an easy putt.
No,
Matteo.
He's like 45 out. At least, if not more. Oh,
that was a good run. And that might be Matteo's first bogey of the tournament.
It is. Which is impressive in itself that he's gone this long.
That was a good putt there for Colin. That's 2 in a row for Colin, so maybe he's about to turn his round around right here.
That's what you're hoping for. As Cam, again, if he gets this is a 2-stroke swing. It'll close the gap to, I think, 2. That's big to get it now. With, you know, still a decent amount of holes left to play.
A good birdie right there for Cam, and, you know, not very many holes left, so he's got to get what he can take.
Again, that battle is brewing. These two guys are always going at it. They always seem to be so close in the final round. And so, with that, the door has started to crack open a little bit for Cam to maybe get some ground here on Matt and make a push. And actually, no, they're 1 stroke apart. Okay.
Yeah, and these last 4 holes, 5 holes that we got left, you know, they're not easy holes.
Yeah, why don't you talk us through this one, because this is definitely a tricky one.
Yeah, this is the hole that we call the train hole.
I wonder why.
Yeah, this train over here on the right, which, you know, comes into a play for quite a few people's shots. Most people throw a fairway driver or mid-range on a flex shot to try to get as far up to underneath this tree, and some people get aggressive and throw the forehand. You just want to get to this tree as possible to make it an easy approach shot, because those branches hang really low, and then you just control it and try not to get into those bushes on this second shot.
And the train yard does play as OB as well as the road on the left-hand side. And we had a massive tailwind, by the way, coming into this hole. This is where the wind really was getting to its peak of the day, as he's just kicked the field goal between those 2 trees. And that's an absolute beauty from Forehand.
Yeah, he landed right where you want to be. He's going to be behind that tree, but he's should have an easy 3, maybe a run out of 2.
All right, this is your chance, Cam. This is the moment you got to take advantage of. You have to imagine 1 stroke behind now, a big opportunity to really put the pressure on Matt. That's just too low.
Yeah, had the right line just straight into that bush, and now he's just going to be trying to approach and save his 3.
Now you can see it's really gusting here before. That's why you see a little bit more time being taken by Gibney, knowing that he wants to, you know, keep that 3rd place locked and maybe try to gain some ground. And it's looking pretty solid just to make sure it doesn't fade too much.
Hit it hard, baby girl.
It did. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's the perfect spot for an easy approach shot for an easy 3 on this hole.
And again, this is where you could really see the forehand come out of Matt. This is not normally a hole he would throw a forehand on, I feel like, but it pulls out the D2 because of the tailwind, and he gets way on down there.
Yeah, and he's going to actually have a putt from over there. It should be wide open for a 2.
You're absolutely right. Cam just trying to make sure he salvages the par after that errant tee shot, and he's done just that.
Yeah,
really well done.
That's a really good approach shot with this low ceiling that he had to deal with.
You can hear the wind is just full force right there, trying to go for the jumper. Now Colin again has a chance for his birdie as well. He's a little bit behind the tree, so a bit obstructed, but maybe a chance.
And he just pulled that, and that's going to be a tough comebacker.
Yeah, definitely a little bit still left on the bone for that one, as we are going to see Matteo trying to step up to try to increase the gap on the scoreboard a bit here with a very good chance to still get a birdie. That's the only birdie we'll see at this hole on this card. Oh, that looks so close.
And that's back-to-back holes that he's hit right side, and the disc has just fell out of the basket.
Yeah, and that time around, it seemed like almost all the chains were being connected to that time. Just a little bit too far right. Good comebacker there from Colin, though, to salvage the par.
Yeah, you know, this is starting to look a little bit more like the normal Colin Forehand that we know around this area.
Yeah, as everyone else is just going to kind of come up and clean up and move on to hole 15, another long par 3 coming up next. And again, you feel like Cam kind of missed a big chance there to perhaps tie things up or at least put a little bit of pressure on Matt. They're still 1 stroke apart, though, so, you know, because of that missed putt from Matt for bird, it's not like he lost any ground there. Big tee shot coming up here, Chris.
Yeah, with this hole having some OB, you really have to make sure that you commit to this shot, and I feel like that's going to be OB because of the reaction off of the side of the hill, and this is a good shot by Cam as long as it stays up.
It is staying up, but it's drifting actually too far left, and he's way in the thickness.
Yeah, you know, that was about as good as she could throw this shot, too, and just bad luck towards the end of that, the flight.
And Gibney trying to go straight at it as well.
That's a little high. He's got to get down.
He's also going to be on that left side wood line. So going to be very tough for birdies there, as we're going to see Matteo step up and look on to put on the heat. And that is looking beautiful if it fades appropriately. That's exactly the flight path you want. Is it going to make it through? It kicks down perfectly, Chris.
Yeah, and, you know, if that doesn't hit that tree, that actually has a chance to possibly go in. That was a really good shot from Matteo there.
I mean, Cam has got not a lot to work with here. He's got a little bit of a hole you can kind of see right in front of him. He might be able to fit the putt through, and you feel like he needs this based on Matt's positioning.
Yeah, he's got to hit this putt, or Matteo's going to get another stroke on him.
Just a little low. Definitely not an easy putt based on the obstructions he had in front of him there, but again, one he wanted. And I'm not really sure, actually, you know, if this is a birdie putt or a par play. I don't know if he went OB or not, but a good putt nonetheless.
Yeah, this is a good putt, but no telling if he was out of bounds or not, just because that ditch, like, it wasn't a fair OB down there. You had to be almost perfect to not be in that ditch.
And as we're going to see Matt with a chance to extend the lead and make that stroke separation 2 instead of just 1 based on the par putt that we're seeing Cam have in the face now at the miss from the woods. Might as well just chalk it up.
Yeah, and, you know, now that's 2 strokes with 3 holes left to play, and, you know, Matteo's put his foot on the gas, and he's just see if Cam can keep up.
He's forcing Cam to have to play aggressive. You know, Cam's basically at this point now going to have to really gun for an eagle on 17 probably. And even the island play on 18 starting to have to be a decision he's going to have to think about.
Yeah.
It all comes down to these next couple of holes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of OB on 17 and 18.
Yeah, this is just mostly a flick hole for a lot of our players. It's way more open on the left-hand side, and that is, again, just a perfect shot for Matteo, and the pressure's on Cam now again.
Yeah, Cam's got to put this one close to not lose a stroke to Matteo's. Really simple hole, but...
What a beautiful backhand from Colin Forehand, by the way. Gets up there nicely. That's going to be definitely a birdie for him. Oh, no. Might not want to do that, Cam. That is way out there.
Yeah, he still has a wide open putt, but with this wind, that's going to be tough to get the 2 from that distance.
Yeah, it's like wide open, but I feel like he's at least 50 feet away, if not more, from that position. As we see a nice tee shot here from Gibney. Fading nice. Little deep, but still definitely going to be able to get a birdie from there, you'd imagine.
Yeah, that's only about 15 feet, and that was a really good shot by Gibney, and this is a big putt for Cam.
He's got to get it.
This.
Oh, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, Chris. It gets way harder from here on out if he can't land this. Oh, that was so close. Just a little high. That was on line, though.
Yeah, that was a really good run from Cam, and, you know, you could tell that he really wanted that putt.
Yeah, he knew what that putt meant, and now it just probably, what, a 3-stroke separation going into 17?
Yeah, and, you know, with 3 strokes with 2 holes left to play with 17 and 18, Matteo can really just play it safe.
Yep.
Because Cam has to go hyper-aggressive to make up those strokes.
Absolutely. You feel like Cam has to go for the eagle on the next hole, as we'll start talking through 17 here in just a second, as it is a par 4 and it is a long boy for sure. Just needs to make sure he gets his par and gets out of here, and he'll do just that. And again, Matteo's sitting right there, should be well within birdie range to get that bigger stroke separation. Colin Forehand also right there to get his birdie, you'd imagine.
Yeah, and Colin's kind of turned his around a little bit.
Agreed.
He's starting to play better these last, like, 5 or 6 holes.
He's been on point for sure. Glad to see him recover, because he definitely had some really tough hurdles put in front of him, in the front 9 in particular. Felt like he got really unlucky with a couple of lies where it looked great off the tee, and then it just kind of had a weird little finish to it that would give him some tough putts. As indeed, we are going to see that 3-stroke separation thanks to Matteo just playing excellent golf all tournament long. Again, still only 1 bogey under his belt for the entire event. As we're in the 17, and Chris, why don't you talk us through this one?
Yeah, 17, you know, I would say one of the harder holes on the course. Tough tee shot, especially with the wind. You need to try to finish just past these pine trees that we're coming up in front of, but not finish too far right, because then you don't have a real shot to the basket. And then watch out for the OB on the left. And then most people throw a forehand approach into this small green. It falls off to the left, back towards that ditch, and then over here to the right is real thick, and you have this oak tree that a lot of people get behind that obstructs the putt.
Yeah, the safe play out the tee for this, for the right-handed player, is kind of probably a forehand over the ditch that comes back, but the backhand turnover is like the play you really want to go for if you want distance and you want to be able to do it. And you can see Matt taking the safe approach. Why not? He knows the stroke separation that he's got. He knows that that's his best play to make sure he lands in the fairway, and he's done a perfect job of it.
Yeah, and Matteo knows at this point with that shot that Cam's going to have to do something special to make it.
There's the backhand turnover play from Colin. That is not coming out. I think we had a pretty sizable headwind, if I'm not mistaken, when we were on this hole.
Yeah, and that shot, it's going to be tough for him to get an approach shot up to that basket. He's going to have to do something really special from over there.
Yeah, you're definitely pinched off the further right that you go on this fairway, as Gibney's looking to be in a very similar boat, as again, this headwind was just not allowing just to come back.
Yeah, and depending on how far Gibney got into that grass over there, he might actually have an easy approach shot. And you see Cam getting aggressive.
Yes, it is, Cam. Unfortunately, that is not coming out. That is a D1, pretty, decently overstable disc, but again, that headwind was just not allowing for a lot of margin for error. And so we have Matt, the only real clean look at the green.
Yeah, and Cam's looks like it kind of stopped instead of going deep in there. If he'd have went in there, he could have just counted this turn over. Matteo's left this one kind of short and to the right. Like, this was Cam's chance to make up a stroke.
All depends on what kind of lie and obstructions Cam has, as, he definitely didn't hang that one out enough, so he definitely faded too deep. But still, he's going to get the par no problem, as this is a great forehand pitch up. No, what?
That went from being 5 feet and now 45 feet. Like,
I can't blame him. I cannot blame the reaction here from Colin. That was unbelievable. Because I was there and I didn't even get to see that. And I was wondering what the heck happened because the shot looked so good out of his hand. And then to be left with that is just, that's grueling.
and then we have Cam and Matt, or Cam and Gibney here. Both of them are just in this woods, and they don't have anything. You saw Cam just kind of throw a tomahawk over the top just to get out to the middle, and I'm pretty sure Gibney did the same.
He's got to run this.
He has to.
Which is a dangerous run because it is, you know, OB behind the basket if you go too far. But, I mean, at this point, got to throw caution to the wind, just give it a chance. This is PA4. That's looking like it's tracking. Not going to quite fade out in time, though, but at least he stayed in bounds.
Yeah, and he's going to be disappointed with a par on this hole, especially when him knowing that he had to try to get a stroke or two back from Matteo.
I mean, really the only way back in now is if he goes for the island, makes it, and then Matt messes up. That's like really the only way. And at that point, even at best, you're getting maybe a playoff, but it's so unlikely now.
Yeah, but the way Matteo is playing right now, he's in just secure as par, and he knows he has some strokes to play with. He's not going to do anything crazy.
Yeah, Colin lining up a pretty decent lengthy putt here. But he gets it. Well done, Colin, to not let that get to him and get the putt.
Yeah, you know, that was a really good putt because, I mean, you saw before whenever he hit the ground, like, it's just been a long round for Colin.
Yeah. Feel like he's been treated poorly by the course. Mother Nature not give him any breaks. Getting him to land his putt, no problem. Again, definitely securing third place by a pretty decent margin.
Yeah, and, you know, it was a really good tournament so far for Gibney.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like his victory lap for third place.
Yeah, it's worth noting now, actually, that since we're recording this in post, he's actually hit his career high rating of 1,007. And he's been playing really well this year.
Yeah.
So big round of applause to Gibney.
Yeah, and as you can tell throughout this tournament and the 3 rounds that we've covered him for, you know, he's been solid all weekend, and that's been about how it's been for the last couple months for Gibney.
And here we are, everyone just hugging it out, knowing that this is going to be the last hole played for the City of Mobile Championships here in 2021. And like you said, Matteo's just kind of looking to do a victory lap here, and really the only hope for Cam is to make the island, which, as you're about to see, as you're about to talk us through, Chris, it's not an easy feat.
Yeah, not very many people go for this island. It's for your aggressive players. Most people are going to throw a forehand or a mid-range just past this oak tree that we're coming up to so that they can throw an approach shot onto this island green. And the ones that go for it, they try to throw something low that gets just in front of this tree and sticks the island, which isn't very easy to do. Most people throw for that bush right in front of the basket. So it'll be good, nice to see the layup that I'm sure Matt will throw, and then how aggressive Cam's going to get on this hole.
As you can see, this play is the hardest hole on the course, and it's no surprise. It pretty much always plays the hardest hole on the course. Very, very hard to birdie. Almost never see it, but Cam needs it desperately. As that is a beautiful shot there from Colin to make sure that he is able to approach the island and get his par, maybe even run a putt.
Yeah, and that's about as good as you can get for not getting on the island.
And Matt is doing all he needs to do, which is play safe, get out there at the FX2, and again, he can approach for the par, no problem. And now the pressure's on Cam.
Yeah, and with Matt throwing that shot, you can pretty much just count as he's going to win this tournament.
I'm trying to keep up the hope, Chris.
Yeah,
But you're pretty much right.
Yeah, that's a really good approach shot. You know, Gibney with a great shot too. So all 3 guys have thrown really good shots, and it looks like Cam's about to get really aggressive right here.
No real choice if he wants to try to maybe force a playoff if Matt maybe messes up or something like that. He rips that one. It's got the right height, needs to skip over, and that's just caught way too much. That's going to be OB.
Yeah, and here's Matteo just pitching up for his 3.
A very stress-free 3, and that, I mean, that's done. That's tournament over.
Yeah. Cam can run this if he wants to. He's got second place secured up.
That's why I'll try to go out with a bang, but unfortunately this leaves out a little too outside. But again, he'll be able to come back and get that. He definitely has second place under wraps. Gibney, again, has third place under wraps as well. But, you know, trying to give that one a little run, too.
And that was a really good run.
And now Colin coming in. Trying to make sure that he can maybe finish out with some fireworks as well. Not a bad bid,
No,
but everyone's going to be tapping out.
Yeah, everyone's going to be tapping in. Good tournament from Gibney, and a really good tournament from Cam as well.
Yep. as everyone's just kind of trying to get out of Matt's way to let him be that final putt in to secure the title here at the 28th Annual City of Mobile Championships presented by Dynamic Disc. And again, a shout out to all of our players and participants and staff that helped run the event, and all of our partners, and shout out, of course, to Soblue Productions, filming everything, editing it all. I know Andy's had some late nights to get the coverage out to all of you, and you know, Chris, it's been fun commentating with you, man.
It has, man. And, you know, thanks for the opportunity for letting me come in here and doing this for you, and Adio tapping out.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Matt Orum on taking the title here. He played brilliant golf all tournament long, a whopping 31 under, one bogey to his name the entire tournament, putting on fire, everything great as we see our final standings and a well-earned victory. And we'll actually get to hear from Matt now in just a second as he talks through the event. All right, I'm here with Matthew Orum, our champion here at the 28th City of Mobile Championships. First of all, congratulations, Mattio. You've been having a heck of a year. Your last 6 events, you've won 4 now, including this one. You took 2 second-place finishes as well. What do you think has been the biggest, you know, contributor to the consistency that you've been having these last few events?
I think I just started, like, taking I just feel privileged that I'm out here playing. A lot of times I don't try to not let nothing the moment get me. I just try to stick it to it, just try to keep doing what I'm doing the most I can, and try not to show no emotion. Just like, you know, like Jordan back in the referee days, you don't want to yell at the referee because then it shows that you're weak. So I try to make sure I stay strong mentally and just try to do what I'm supposed to do.
So obviously you tore it up in Texas, right? I mean, a couple of huge finishes, really kind of put yourself on the map, you know, started getting you in more coverage, skins matches. Is that like the moment where you really felt like you were just in the zone, or was there a particular like moment where it just like kind of all came together for you?
I feel like that propelled me for everything I'm doing now, especially at the skins matches where it really started, because I hit a big $600 putt right when my buddy showed up, and it like, I was thinking all winter because I didn't really play no tournaments because they were all filled and they were blah, blah, blah. And that was like my first moment. I'm like, this is what you've been putting for 5 months, and I got it. And I just kept the momentum after that.
Speaking of putting, your putting has been insane. I think you did make a putter switch this year, if I'm not mistaken, to the P Model S. So how's that been treating you? It seems from coverage, it's looking good.
Oh, it's made my whole, it's meant for my spin putt. It's meant for the spin putter, for sure. It's a spin putter, it's a spin putter's putter.
There you go.
I highly recommend it for the spin putter.
I also feel like I've been seeing more forehands out of you here recently, particularly on this course. There was a couple of holes where I feel like last year's coverage, I would see you go for the backhand a bit more, but this time I see you, you know, trusty D2 or your FX2, you seem to be ripping that forehand. Is that just a game plan pivot, or was it a wind read, or what was,
I've noticed I've been throwing it really well lately, and me and Barsby he always helped me with my sidearm, always helped him with his backhand. That was kind of like something I kind of tinkered with in Austin a few weeks ago, and it's been holding strong, especially on the upshots, because that was my off-season plan, was to get better at little chip upshots with A2, and those little small ones, instead of having to throw like a Firebird or FX2 or some kind of just like that, which again bounce and have a lot of ground action, just kind of make it stop, and it makes a tremendous difference. It's kind of like a loft wedge, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Looking great, man. So what's kind of next for you at this point? I mean, obviously you've been tearing it up here in the Southeast, as well as just, you know, on tour. What's coming up for you next that we should look out for?
B-tier, I believe, in New Orleans next week, and then the following weekend is the Southern National Double Championship. I'll be playing with Cameron in Pensacola. Then I have a week off, then I'm running a C-tier, AM only here in Mobile.
Oh, okay.
And then I played at Tampa, A-tier that following week, and then Worlds after that. So that's pretty much my next month and a half schedule right there.
So pretty busy, basically, is what you're trying to tell me.
Actually, this is kind of the simmer before the Worlds time, so it's actually kind of a lower time, but it's still busy.
Is this going to be like first time running an event with the C-tier that you said coming up in Mobile? Is it like a new project you're trying to start or something like that?
Yeah, I ran some tournaments with me and Cam before, but my dad gave me some blueprints on it before, and I just kind of sticking to it, and I'm trying to do it for myself to grow the game and try to run some really good tournaments in the way I think they should be run, you know, and take tips from everywhere else I've been. So try to have a little fun things to do. Make sure all the AMs will be happy, I promise.
All right then, man. Well, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I know you got to go celebrate this victory and then get ready for the next. Is there any final thoughts, shout-outs you'd like to give to the people out there before we let you go?
Just want to thank everybody that was in the group with us. It was a fun time, and I want to thank Saban and my caddy. Thank you.
A big Bama fan thanking Saban on his way out with a big title, and as you can see a busy schedule ahead as well as we look at our final standings. Chris, anything stand out to you from that, or kind of what you expected?
Kind of what I expected. You know, Matt, Cam, and Gibney ran away with this tournament. You had Silas kind of move in that last day with a really good round, but you could tell who the top 3 were this tournament by their scores and their gameplay that we've seen all weekend. You know, congrats to Matty O for his win this weekend, and good luck for the rest of the season, as to for Matt and Gibney.
And again, thanks to all of our partners and everyone involved in the event. Again, big shout out from myself and Chris Downey, enjoying the commentary, and maybe we'll see you on a future event. Who knows? But definitely follow, subscribe, and catch all the content.